You've got to be kidding me. After everything we've been through, after years of part-timers holding titles hostage, after countless promises that those days were over, WWE is seriously about to put the Undisputed Championship back on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42? Are you absolutely out of your minds? This isn't just a bad decision, this is a slap in the face to every single wrestler who's been grinding week in and week out, showing up on Raw, SmackDown, live events, house shows, and giving their bodies to this business while Lesnar sits on his farm collecting checks. Let me ask you something right now. Before we go any further, do you actually believe Brock Lesnar deserves another title run in 2026? Drop your answer in the comments because I need to know if I'm the only one who sees this disaster coming from a mile away. Look, I get it. Brock Lesnar is a legitimate beast. The man is a freak of nature, a former UFC heavyweight champion, and one of the most dominant forces WWE has ever seen. Nobody is questioning his credentials or his ability to draw money. But here's what I am questioning. Why does WWE constantly fall back on the same old formula when it's proven time and time again to hurt the product more than it helps? Let's talk about what actually happens when Brock Lesnar wins a championship. First, the title disappears from television for weeks, sometimes months at a time. Remember when he held the WWE Championship and we'd go entire episodes of Raw without even seeing the belt? The championship is supposed to be the pinnacle of professional wrestling, the prize everyone is fighting for, the symbol of excellence in this industry. But when it's locked away in a special appearance deal, it becomes meaningless. It becomes a prop that shows up 4 times a year while everyone else is expected to act like it matters. Second, and this is crucial, every single time Lesnar holds a championship, it creates this impenetrable ceiling for the full-time roster. You've got guys like Gunther who've been absolutely phenomenal, putting on Match of the Year candidates every single week. You've got rising stars who need that WrestleMania moment to catapult them into superstardom. You've got veterans who've paid their dues and deserve that one final run at the top. But all of that gets shelved because WWE wants to go back to the Beast Incarnate well one more time. Here's a question for you. Name me 3 current full-time wrestlers who you think deserve the Undisputed Championship more than Brock Lesnar right now. I'll wait. Drop those names in the comments. The pattern is exhausting. WWE builds up incredible talent, gets us invested in their stories, makes us believe that this is finally their moment, and then boom, here comes Brock Lesnar to suplex everyone back to the mid-card. It happened to Drew McIntyre during his first reign. It happened to Kofi Kingston in 8 seconds? It's happened to so many talented performers that it's become a meme at this point. Oh, you're having a great run? Here's Brock Lesnar to end that conversation. And let's address the elephant in the room, the schedule. Brock Lesnar works a limited schedule. That's his deal, that's what makes him special, that's what makes his appearances must-see. But you know what else is must-see? A champion who's actually there, a champion who defends the title, who cuts promos, who has face-offs with challengers, who makes the championship feel important by treating it like it's the most valuable thing in the world. When was the last time we had a part-timer as champion and the product was actually better for it? I'm genuinely asking. The Rock's return runs were nostalgia pops that deflated the moment he left. Goldberg's title reigns were pure shock value with no substance. Even Lesnar's previous runs, as impressive as some of the matches were, always left this void in the weekly programming that creative just couldn't fill. WrestleMania 42 should be about creating the next generation of main eventers. It should be about taking someone who's been knocking on the door and kicking that door wide open. Instead, we're going to get Brock Lesnar, who's already been to the mountaintop multiple times, winning the Undisputed Championship and then probably defending it at Money in the Bank if we're lucky, before disappearing until SummerSlam. Think about the opportunity cost here. Every minute of television time dedicated to building Brock Lesnar up for this championship win is time that could be spent elevating someone new. Every segment, every promo, every video package, it's all going towards someone who doesn't need it instead of someone who desperately does. Quick question, if you could book WrestleMania 42's main event instead of WWE, who would you have win the Undisputed Championship and why? Tell me in the comments because I want to know what you would do differently. Now, let's talk about the match itself. Because that's what defenders of this decision always say, but the match will be incredible. Will it though? Brock Lesnar is 48 years old in 2026. He's been in the business for over 2 decades if you count his early days. His moveset, while effective, has become predictable. German suplex, German suplex, German suplex, F5, maybe a Kimura lock if we're getting spicy. And don't get me wrong, he executes those moves perfectly, but where's the innovation? Where's the evolution? Compare that to what guys like Will Ospreay could do in that spot, or what someone like LA Knight could bring in terms of character work and crowd connection, or what Cody Rhodes already proved he can deliver in a main event setting. These are people who would treat that WrestleMania moment like it's their entire world, because for them, it would be. For Lesnar, it's another paycheck, another accolade on an already legendary resume. The frustrating part is that WWE knows better. They've seen what happens when they commit to new stars. Look at what happened when they finally pulled the trigger on certain performers. The crowd goes absolutely ballistic, social media explodes, merchandise flies off the shelves, and suddenly you have a legitimate main eventer who's going to be there every single week to carry that momentum forward. But instead, we're going backwards. We're reverting to the attraction model that might pop a rating for one night but does nothing for the long-term health of the product. And before anyone says, but Brock Lesnar is a draw, let me ask you this, is he drawing people who are going to stick around after he leaves again? Or is he drawing people who show up for one show, see Brock win, and then check out until his next appearance? Here's another thing that nobody talks about, the message this sends to the locker room. Imagine you're a wrestler who's been with WWE for 5, 6, 7 years. You've worked your way up from NXT, paid your dues on the main roster, had great matches, connected with the fans, done everything right. And then you watch WWE hand the biggest prize in the industry to someone who shows up 10 times a year. How motivated are you going to be to keep giving 100%? Let me get your take. Do you think WWE's reliance on part-timers hurts the morale of full-time wrestlers? Drop a yes or no in the comments. The Undisputed Championship should represent the absolute best of what WWE has to offer. It should be on someone who embodies the company, who's going to represent that brand every single week, who's going to make that title feel like the most important thing in professional wrestling. Brock Lesnar can't do that because he's not there to do it. And here's the really infuriating part, this decision reeks of WWE not trusting their own roster. It screams, we don't think our current stars are good enough to main event WrestleMania, so we need to bring back the old reliable. That's not confidence in your product, that's desperation masquerading as nostalgia. WrestleMania 42 could be a launching pad. It could be the moment where WWE officially turns the page and says this is our future, and we believe in it. Instead, it's going to be another reminder that when push comes to shove, WWE doesn't trust the new generation enough to let them carry the biggest show of the year. So yeah, Brock Lesnar winning the Undisputed Championship at WrestleMania 42 isn't just disappointing, it's insulting. It's insulting to the fans who've been begging for something fresh. It's insulting to the wrestlers who've been killing themselves to prove they belong at that level. And it's insulting to our intelligence because WWE is basically saying we know you'll accept this because it's WrestleMania and it's Brock Lesnar. Final question for all of you, after WrestleMania 42, how long do you think it'll be before we actually see Brock Lesnar defend that championship? 1 month? 2 months? 3? Put your predictions in the comments. This is Wrestling Zone 1, and I'm telling you right now, this is a mistake. Mark my words, a year from now we're going to look back at WrestleMania 42 and wonder what could have been if WWE had just had the courage to go in a different direction. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this time will be different. Maybe Brock will show up every week and have the run of his career. But I'm not holding my breath, and neither should you.